the Academy for giving this opportunity to share few insights on innovative teaching methods. And I'm so happy to see a wide range of people available to listen to me. And I'm not going to share something new. All these concepts are aware to each one of us. Only thing is, we are not implementing it at the right time. Let me just give you a glimpse of what I have known as innovative teaching methodologies. As Plato wrote, our need will be the real creator, or as we say today, necessity is the mother of invention. Introducing innovative teaching strategies into the classroom may have been a niche academic practice conducted by few bold educators quite a long time before. But these strategies are becoming more common today as educational institutions dwell on the new reality. Technology will not replace great teachers. We can vouch and we can solidly prove that our job, the security of our job, is going to be the same, even though we have numerous technological advancements. That is why we say technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. So, should academicians adapt or resist? An open minded attitude can help all of us in innovating new teaching methods. So, let's try to understand how we can take it forward. Teaching is considered to be one of the most determining jobs, which makes an enormous role in the life of every person. Renewing traditional methods to make learning easier for students is the focus of today. To do this, there are a lot of innovative teaching methods which can be adopted, which includes creativity, collaboration, communication, and connectivity. All this encompasses together something we call it as innovative teaching methods. And this is very essential for higher educational institutes today. One, because of competition. Two, to enhance the learning experience and prepare students for the evolving demands of the constant changing workforce. A great poet, William Butler, once said, education should not be the filling of pail, but the lighting of fire. All of us have gone through different schooling patterns, and we also remember our teachers. When we move down the memory lane, we try to recall people who had made a wide difference by bringing in lively sessions and meaningful ways of doing it in our classroom. Still, we remember those teachers and professors. And such innovations possibly happened only on the screen, maybe few years before. But today, thanks to the technological advancements, teachers around the world have reinvented their delivery methodologies by using several tools that make learning adaptive, inclusive, and dynamic. Effective and relevant teaching can be of great benefit when the educators keep experimenting and applying different pedagogical techniques and approaches, curriculum enhancement, course design, assessments that are contemporary in nature and which creates a roadmap for the student to take a self-corrective action. The use of innovative teaching methods to better assist students and to teach them the benefits of innovative thinking does more than fill to the pail. It helps to kindle the passion for learning and also provides the student the necessary tools to succeed in the 21st century. So, hope this makes a teacher a smart teacher, a person who is innovative, a person who is collaborative, a person who is enthusiastic, a person who is open for ideas, a person who gives prompt feedback, tries to make it very practical, tries to make the students receive the information well, All those things enables a teacher to be a smart teacher. Now, all of us on the platform have undergone this, a traditional method of teaching. When we say traditional method of teaching, we try to understand the conventional approaches that have been widely used in the education for many, many years. To just maybe to rewind or to kindle the older traditional methods, lecture method was one common way of delivering the subject, where the teacher presents the information to the students, the oral communication, and the authority was lying with the teacher, and the teacher being the primary source of knowledge, where students were only passive listeners. This was more effective when there was a huge crowd, when you required to deliver something for a huge crowd. And focusing on further, we had something called as textbook learning, which was also a fundamental source of education, wherein teachers assign readings from textbooks and students either independently or in group discuss in the class. And primarily what was happening is about like supplying printed materials for the same. Again, further we move when we talk about teacher-centered instruction. The flow of information comes from the teacher and activities takes place in the class. The teacher imparts knowledge, sets rules, asks questions, and evaluates student performances. And these are something which are expected from the students by the teacher. We also had a concept called as rote memorization, wherein students were emphasized to memorize facts, formulas, vocabulary, and other information without necessarily understanding the underlying concepts deeply. This was again an approach of repetition and recall. And students have also been working in silos, trying to understand what teachers are explaining in the class. And from there, they try to complete some assignments and homeworks, which was also called as one of the traditional methods. And there was a part of this happening with the assistants also, where what has been taught is questioned, and things have been happening in this way for a longer period of time. Today, we are trying to understand why there is a need for innovative teaching methods. Why do we need to come out of the ancient and conventional methods? And what is the reason we have to move forward? Because it's a real challenge for all of us. As technological advancements happen, we are put to a lot of challenges in front of us, and we are sailing through it. Some are very successful, some are in the initial stages of understanding, some try to enhance it as and when it's required. Now, the main idea behind why there is a need for innovative teaching methods, engaging students in the class. Earlier days was like, so it was like, as I told you earlier, it was like the teacher used to narrate and the students will be listening. Now, innovative teaching methods have made people to understand that there's a need for more interactive ways of communication from the students. And this engagement of students through this innovative teaching, there are numerous innovative teaching methods. As we move through, we will see what is what. But generally, when we say engaging students, when we use different technologies or different methods in the classroom, that kindles a better understanding of the students' knowledge, critical thinking, and problem solving skills. We also try to understand that the students are from different backgrounds, and we also need to know what each one of them expect. And students have different learning preferences and styles too. Some are visual learners, while others are auditory, and, and some may be kinesthetic learners. By incorporating innovative teaching methods, educators can address the diverse needs of students and also create a conducive learning environment for all. A multimedia presentation or a hands on experiment or a group activity will definitely help the students to underneath and explore the various learning styles, which is very comfortable for them so that it makes learning easy. This also benefits in promoting critical thinking and creativity. This rapidly changing world where we have a lot of information preloaded, there is a dearth for students' capacity to know everything. What is to distinguish between what is required and what is not required at the moment. This teaching methods, the newer concepts, encourage students to think critically, analyze information, and develop creative solutions to complex problems. Strategies like, say, for example, problem based learning, inquiry based learning, and collaborative projects foster high order thinking skills, preparing students for real world challenges. Now, this 21st century skills is more demanding in the form of communication, collaboration, digital literacy, and adaptability because it is becoming more importantly increasing. Innovative teaching methods integrate all these skills into a learning process to make a student competent, fair enough to meet the outside world. Maybe for an example, by incorporating technologies, tools, and online collaboration platforms, and maybe giving a visual presentation, this would definitely enhance students' digital literacy and communication skills. By and large, by adopting all these innovative teaching methods, there is a chance for the student to be successful, need to meet the demands of the workforce outside, inculcate him in the concept of critical thinking, which promotes a student to transform into a industry ready person, and enhancing motivation and retention because it always gives them the challenge that the leverage that they could do it, trying to involve them to participate, trying to connect with real life situations, incorporating gamification elements, utilizing interactive resources, trying to make the students understand the need for their involvement, trying to actively make them participate so that they don't find learning boring. And this way of doing things definitely tries to make them remember the the knowledge what they have gained for a longer period of time. And of course, it's a predominant duty that we prepare the students for the future. The world is rapidly evolving with technological advancements, globalization, and changing work environments. The students of today, the millennials whom we are teaching currently, need to get them completely ready to face the outside challenging and competitive world. So, by integrating success with the necessary tools and fostering collaboration through problem solving, promoting adaptability, educators can better prepare the students for challenges they face beyond the classroom. To just give an conclusion of this need for innovative teaching methods, this is very essential to address the changing needs of students. Why all of us are forced to become or forced to adopt innovative teaching methods? Because the need of students are ever changing. The demand, the basic understanding of what is teaching has become more rapidly changing, and there's a need for diverse thinking. And very essentially, we need to foster in them the critical thinking and creativity, And we have to see to it that they are dynamic and provide an effective learning environment which empowers students to become lifelong learners and active contributors to the society. There had been always a debate about the widely practiced traditional methods, which are increasingly not seen today because of the more innovative techniques which has come out in the foray. But adding to the traditional methods, all these innovative teaching methods could be given as a supplement, or sometimes it could be even replaced based on case to case and situation to situation, trying to focus on learner centric approach. This shift will definitely make the students understand the prime amount of importance we give for their overall grooming and help them apply the real knowledge to the real practical situations and also collaborate it with peers, developing them the critical thinking and problem solving skills, which will definitely help them to be successful and cater to the demands of the modern world. This early thinkers of innovative teaching methods. The identification, because this has not happened one fine day. This transformation has been over a period of time, and we'll try to understand how this has been imbibed into the context of learning and development. The identification and development of innovative teaching methods, as I said, has evolved over a period of time with numerous people trying to understand what could be the way children can be taught, what could be the way they could attract people to understand our concepts. And we are not crediting this to one single person, as there were so many philosophers, so many management experts, so many educators who had pioneered these practices, and they have really contributed, they have proven these theories to be very successful. One such thinker is John Dewey, an American philosopher and an educator, advocated for experiential and hands on learning. He emphasized the importance of connecting education to real life experiences and promoting active engagement and critical thinking. Maria Montessori, often we have come across the term Montessori. She, she is an Italian physician developing this Montessori method in the early 20th century. This enables the student or the children to start having the practice of self-directed learning with the hands-on materials and individualized instruction tailored to each student's need and interest. Piaget, a Swiss psychologist, is renowned for his research on development of cognitive theories. He highlights the importance of constructivist learning, which emphasizes students' active construction of knowledge through exploration, problem solving, and interaction with the environment. This is one thing which we could find it very common in today's teaching methodology, where we try to make the student explore, try to make him solve the issues on his own, so that no, he tries to come out of a novel idea. We call it as Reggio Emilio approach, which is based on project-based learning. This actually emerged in Italy after World War II, where the child's interest and ideas drive the curriculum, collaboration, documentation, and use of various expressive languages, mostly art and music, where the prime focus through which this project-based learning approach was adopted. Westerners have adopted all these techniques long back, and today in India, if you could see, We have the top premier institutions trying to capture all these ideas and emphasize it as a part of their curriculum and putting it across to students so that they emerge very successful. Let us try to understand what could be some innovative teaching techniques. I'm sure all of you would know it, but still, the flipped classroom methodology. As we compare with the traditional methodology, this is something where the students are provided the course materials outside the class through a pre-recorded lectures, a reading, or an online sources. Classroom time is utilized as it is very essential to discuss on what the students have read outside, trying to solve any problems if it is persistent, hands-on activities in case it is going to be a workshop, allowing the students to engage in deeper learning and collaborative work. This is very commonly practiced in today, especially in these schools. This system is very much widely prevalent. On the other side of the slide, we see something called as active learning. This active learning tries to inculcate in the minds of students, try to create their attention, gauge their attention, and it gives you, if a particular form of teaching method is adopted, what is the percentage that students are able to get if it is going to be active learning, where you try to make students participate. This approach encourages students to actively participate in the learning process instead of passively listening. It is like one-way talk where the students are forced to listen. This allows the students to discuss among their peers in the form of group discussions, trying to understand case studies, debate and deliberate, simulate and convert all the activities into a project. This actually, the main idea behind active learning is it promotes critical thinking, problem solving, and it helps the students to come together to develop a feel of comradeship. A teamwork building happens in this particular process. Another important technique which is widely practiced is project-based learning. This involves students to work on real-time cases or to solve some complex problems, which is based on what knowledge and skills they have. It promotes hands-on learning, fosters creativity, and develops problem-solving abilities. Students learn through exploration, conduct research, and collaborate among people within them and with outside people, resulting in a deeper understanding of the subject matter. A widely practiced methodology, very popular in the field of technology and engineering because it has got a lot of complex ideas which can be converted, which can be easily resolved with the help of a peer-to-peer working group. Technology integration. All of us have been accustomed to traditional methods of teaching, but today, thanks to the advancement of technology, everything, a touch of a button, you get all the information. Now, incorporating these technologies makes people more attentive, more attracted to the subject. So, these technological tools actually they act as a resource in enhancing the teachers' experiences also and the learners' experiences. All of us can use multimedia presentations, online collaboration platforms like what we are currently connected, virtual reality simulations, and educational applications to create an interactive, engaging, learning environment. Technology also allows for personalized learning experiences and provide access to a lot of huge lot of information. It's a repository thanks to their government approaches. Like we have Swayam and NPTEL. With the help of technology, wherever we are, we get connected to the students, and the students are also having an access to all these resources with the advancement of technology into learning process. Gamification is again an emerging concept, an emerging area where game elements of games are included to motivate students and engage students in the class. One way lecturing or continuous lecturing, a continuous process of giving information sometimes makes students dull and they are not interested in the particular concept, even though that is very vital and very essential. So, this process of gamification integrates game elements into the learning process to increase students' motivation and classroom engagement. Elements like leaderboards, badges, rewards, and levels to incentivize learning make it more enjoyable. Gamification is always applied to quizzes, assignments, and collaborative activities, which makes the student it helps the student to create interest, try to explore more, and complete the task on time because because of the reason behind that, it is something which makes them to dive upon very easily, navigate into it very quickly, and achieve what they want. Blended learning has got a plethora of techniques. It is a combination of more components as a part of innovation. Maybe you have face-to-face training wherein you adopt technological components, where you have flexibility in terms of location, enabling students to access course materials and participate in discussion online. This offers a personalized learning experience while maintaining the benefit of a classroom interaction. This is again a predominantly used methodology wherein we try to see to it that the students are kept attentive, given the maximum benefit so that they get the best out of what they require. Whole cycle of experiential learning. Again, ultimately, the idea behind using all these innovative teaching methods is one is a learner-centric approach. Try to have the student engaged. Try to see to it that he is ready for the industry which is in front of him, very challenging. So now this experiential learning focuses on hands-on experiences that connect theory to practice. Field trips, internships, this all we have been doing for a quite long time. I believe all of us have got a wide exposure to this because this is something which is a part of our curriculum, wherein we try to send these students apply what they have learned in the form of theory to put it into real-time practice in the form of field trips, internships, service learning projects, and industry partnerships with real-world exposure, enabling them to apply their knowledge in authentic context. This method enhances critical thinking, problem solving, and career readiness skills. Just a second. Yeah. So this is also widely used because this tries to bring in some sort of authentication, try to make the student understand as a step-by-step process, having a naive idea and transforming it into a reality based on his own experiences, based on the way he dwells upon a particular work, creating a sense of understanding, more deeper understanding to him. Another method wherein we can try engaging students is peer instruction. This helps. This is very popular technique, very successful technique where we try to engage students learn from each other. As professors or as faculty, we can incorporate activities like peer reviews, group presentations, collaborative problem solving sessions, which will actively encourage the students' engagement, which also directly or indirectly helps them in developing their communication skills, developing how to adjust and behave in a team, trying to know what is the expectation of the other person, and also tries to make each student understand how peer behavior has to be and how to have a peer to peer interaction. This will obviously help them to come out of their shyness and focus on what has to be learned when it is from the next person sitting beside him. Adaptive learning methodologies are also popularly used with the help of data analytics, artificial intelligence ruling the world. Thanks to the technology, each day we have one or the other one ruling the world, coming out as an innovation, posing a huge challenge for all of us. And there are so many techniques which can be used through this, trying to understand the individual strengths and weakness and provides a tailored content and feedback to optimize learning outcomes. This helps the students to understand where do they stand, from where they can move to the next level, which will also give them a sense of understanding on the efficiency of the students. And this practice will help them to do it again and again so that they try to explore something new and come out with the innovation. Micro learning is delivering content in a very miniature form in an easily acceptable module, which will actually provide them contents and by which size, which is very small and like which can be learned. This is not something which is widely appreciated, but still in practice, it cannot be generalized for a larger group. But for some students or for some reason, you want to have it in a minuscule level where it focuses on delivering specific learning objectives in short bursts, often through a multimedia formats like a slide or maybe a short video or maybe an audio clip, which will help students to have a quick go through in trying to understand it for the particular moment. And this becomes an on the go learning as wherever they are. This normally we could see in, like before the exams, the students try to brush through some hints or just which is very essential and widely taken into account for the benefit of examination purpose. Now, having said all these innovative teaching methods, there are some classroom techniques which can be adopted, which can be used, which will stimulate the critical thinking skills of the students and a classroom participation, which will make it lively and students are engaged. We have something called as a digital storytelling process. There is something called the Socratic questioning. People constantly, students start asking questions so that once you leave a topic open, they keep on asking so that that provokes students again, the next student to ask, and it develops curiosity, analyzing. The digital storytelling process enables the teacher to make the concept understand in a very simple manner so that it makes people to know the concepts clearly, deeply, and thoroughly. And it comes with a concept of feedback analysis where the student is asked at the end to connect an idea or a topic with what has been explained. It's like a dashboard wherein you try to create it so that the student comes out with a idea generated or a proposal. Questioning helps them to increase the level of curiosity, to know more, help them to understand much better, creates a sense of interest in them to know things, what is happening around them. And this all happens in a class which is consciously planned to tap, to kindle the interest of student to be live in the class. Interactive polls also can be conducted for students where they try to voice their views. Word of the day could be given as a word which can be connected, and from where they can take the concepts more deeper and try to build upon it. Now, the biggest challenge for any teacher is capturing each student's attention and conveying ideas effectively enough to create a lasting impression. To have this possible, there are some few techniques which can be adopted purely based on the subject. It cannot be generalized. Some may be applicable, some may not be relevant, but still, which can be introduced to have the students continuously engaged and to have their attention for the particular process of teaching. One could be a recall, summarize, question, and connect and comment. This is one technique. Now, maybe the starting of each session, this could be reinforced, trying to know what is the previous session's material, and they recall it. Somebody summarizes it, somebody phrases it with a my question, and somebody connects it with the whole class, and somebody concludes it with a comment that this is what has happened. This could be one way where you try to tap more students' participation. The other technique is called as muddiest, where students come out or identify the most complicated topic or particular teaching phrases, and they try to deliberate on this maybe at a later stage. Tabloid titles. Students are asked to write like how as a headline, and they would be asked to illustrate a concept currently being discussed. And this makes everybody to participate, and finally this is shared among all the students, and the best is taken. Peer review writing task helps the students to write assignments, encouraging them to exchange drafts with a partner. So the peer partner is able to write and help the other person so that the person takes it further with the understanding of what the peer has given, tries to focus it on revision, and finally comes out with a particular article. Carousel, we have it as jigsaw. This actually helps students to be put into groups and grouping of people together where you have one expert in every group trying to support the other people in the group. Problem recognition tasks are like giving case studies with the different domains and trying to ask them to identify what are the problems on one side, create a group which will be exploring how to solve this problem on the other side. We have something called as focus listing, which is like trying to understand the key areas or the key points in the class. And the students are asked to brainstorm on the particular point and try to uh, find out which is missing and which is to be given the highest priority. Memory matrix is a taxonomy grid that represents interrelationships helping students to connect points or topics which are interrelated and thereby connect it, developing it to a particular idea. Concept mapping is also the same way, where students write keywords and they organize them into a flow chart. Initially, it would be not structured. It could be a simple diagram which students try to do it. But once they try to understand the keywords and the connectivity, it would help them in connecting all the concepts to a particular focus. Snowball discussions, trying to pair students and trying to ask them questions. And you create that group in which they can share ideas, form groups of students and try to share a question and ask them to come out with an idea which will be more relevant. Thereby, you keep the class more engaging and in a discussion way. Fish bowl is again a pack of unpacked ideas and thoughts on a particular topic and try to create a classroom environment where the student starts writing answers for those ideas and a discussion happens in the class wherein the student is able to project the thoughts flowing on a particular idea. Affinity grouping is student writes an idea and the student peer tries to take it further, trying to connect similar ideas to make it grouping and present it in a form of a research. We have numerous such uh, techniques which can be used, like 80-20 rule, where we try to make them, we give them the first 80% of what we need to deliver, and the rest 20% is made, will be asked by the student to explore and come out with the questions. Carousel brainstorming is also one way wherein they try to understand the problem statement and make them help them to prepare how they could arrive on this solution for the particular problem by continuous brainstorming. This such techniques help them to come out with numerous ideas wherein they are able to participate in the classroom, have a lively engagement, and compete with one-to-one. These are some of the techniques which has been actually practiced and in place, which can be predominantly used by us in all our classroom teaching so that we are able to gauge the attention of students and have them lively, bring their skills, critical thinking skills into light, create them be more responsible and accountable for whatever they have learned in the classroom. Thus, we make them industry ready, and we are trying to see that the maximum contribution in shaping the students lies in our hands. Thank you so much for this opportunity.